In this video, I'm going to go over some of the basic parts of the Faithfully Fed site. And so to start, we're just going to log in, which I'm sure you already know how to do, but you go to your site /wp-admin and put in your username and password, and then you should be able to log in, and here we are. Everything that you need and everything that you'll access is over here in this left-hand column. And that's helpful to remember that this stuff isn't really what you need to worry about, but rather these items over here. So I'm going to kind of go through these things one by one and talk briefly about what's important in each of these things. Under updates, this is the plugins that have updates available, and we have a program that's set up to regularly update these for you, so you virtually never have to worry about this. We will update all your plugins, and as you can see, everything is updated. Under posts, this is where blog posts can be created, and if you're looking to add a page with blog posts, that's something that's very easy for us to implement. And if you click add new, you can see how they work, and all that you would have to do is add a title here, and then your text would go here, and you can format that text using any of these options like you would in Microsoft Word or any word processor. You can change the size of your text. You can bold, italicize your text, bullet point, numbered lists. You can justify or align it differently, and all those items are there for you. And then if you want to add media within your post, there's all these pictures here that you can add, and you would just select one and insert it into your post. And then once you have your post, you would click publish. So that's the basic thing there. And if you end up needing to create a blog page, we can make sure everything looks good and is styled right for you. Under media, this is where all of your media is housed. So any PDFs, any JPEGs, this is where they're all located, and you can see them here and view what you have here. But anytime you need to access your media or your media menu, you'll have an option to do that like I just did within posts. I don't think you're using any forms on your site currently. If you want to create a contact us form, then you can do that pretty easily just by clicking add new, and then you'd give it a title, give the form a title, then click create form. And then you've got all these standard and advanced fields, and when you click a field, it will show up over here, and I can edit the fields here and I can drag and drop these. I can drag them wherever I want them to go, and then I can preview my form. I haven't done anything yet, so it's not gonna show up, but click update as I make any changes. But I can do all of these things for you. This is just to give you a brief rundown of how these things work, and I can create a contact form if at some point you want to do that. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to delete this because we don't want it. Under pages, this is where your internal pages are located, and if you want to make any updates or any changes, you can see that on each page there is a section for each little section of information. And if you click these little arrows, you can see the information, and then you can edit any of this text here. So if you need to update any of these things, that's where all that's located. Again, I can do that for you. If you make any changes, updates over here. And if you drag these, they will reorder, but hopefully they would have a header here or a title here, so then you could drag and reorder them and see where everything is. If you make any changes, you'll just go to click update. And let me look if there's another page that might be helpful for you to see how it works. I think the rest are mostly just shop pages. We have a page for the menu, and I have a revolution slider there. So that's where all your pages are located, and if you need to update some of this information, that's where it is. Like I said, this arrow will just show you the information if you need it. And then click update when you make any changes. Comments is not used in any way right now. FooGallery, I'm trying to remember if that's utilized on your site. We're using this for the pictures of the conference room on the page that we've got talking about your conference room. If you want to edit any of these photos, all you'd have to do is go to manage items here. You can add more photos, and like I said, it'll take you to your media gallery, and you just select and then add media. If you want to delete any, then you just have the little X here. If you want to change the styling of the gallery, that can be done through here. And if you want to add the gallery somewhere else, that short code is right there. Moving on to WooCommerce, this is where your orders are located. And so I've noticed that a lot of these still say processing. And so if you have an order and it's been completed, you'll want to come into the order and then change the status from processing to completed here. And then once you select that, you'll hit update. So that way you don't have these sitting here and you don't get confused kind of about what's going on with these orders. So that can be done through right there, clicking completed and then click update. But all your orders are viewable through this button here, orders, and then you can go in and see what you have. And if you have any questions about anything, this is where all that's located. And yeah, that's just going to be helpful for you to know. Under products, that's where all your products are located. And you can see that we have the name of the item, whether it's in stock, the price, and the category all here. And so if I click on an item here, then I'll show you just kind of how this works. And we have the name of the item, we have a information about the item, a description of the item, and then it's categorized so that it shows up on the right page. And these are variable products, meaning that there are options for them to have different sides. And then if you click that little arrow, you can see the different prices for the different sides. I think the prices remain the same. And if you ever want to go in and update the prices on your own, that's where all that would be located. If you have additional questions, we can help you. But the variables are created, and then we create a different price range for each of those through here. An easy way to create a new product is to duplicate the product that you already have and then just go in and change the description and then change the price, and it will already have the same category. It will have those same attributes, the same side item options. But again, these are all things that we can help you with. I'm just wanting to kind of give you an overview of where all this is located. And so they all kind of look the same in that way. You've got the burger, you've got the description, you've got the category, and then these also have the different side options here with the different prices. And then the photo is added through here. And you would just click on it, and you can update the picture by either uploading a file or selecting another file over here, set product image, and then if you make any changes, you'd click update. Under Genesis, there's nothing really there we need to talk about. That's just the theme we've used on your website. Appearance, under widgets and menus, we have things to talk about. So under the widgets, this is what's in the header and footer of your site mainly, and you'll see that in the header you have your logo and it's linked to your home page so that when people click it, it will return to the home page. You have your primary menu, and we have product categories and a cart, and that's all up there in that header. And we have it set up so that those items would show up when you're shopping. And so basically how widgets work is if you want to add anything from over here, you'd select it and then select where you want it to go and then click add widget. and it'll show up over here, and then you can format it and save it. And the little arrow expands it, but we don't want that. So, and then you can see in your footer you have a visual editor and a navigation menu, and under visual editor you have that information there if that ever needs to change. And then, like I said, the saved button is there, and you would save it if you make any changes. And there's not a whole lot you'll ever need to worry about here, but that's just to kind of show you where that is. Under menus, this is where the different menu items are located for both your social media and your primary menu. So under your primary menu, you can look and see all the different pages. And if you ever create a new page, it'll show up over here. And then we can add it to the menu, and then these items can be dragged wherever you want them to go, or they can be made sub-menu items. And then if you make any changes, you'll click save. And if you want to change the label of how it appears in the menu, you can change that there. And then under social media, this is done. These can be edited. If you need to add or remove any of these, you can remove them by clicking remove, or I can add a new custom link by coming here to custom links and adding a link to whatever social media site, and then giving it, what I would do is copy and paste this nav label here, and then change out where it says Twitter and change it to say whatever social media I wanted it to say. And then click add to menu, and then click save menu. And then the WooCommerce menu, this is all your different categories for your food items. And if we create any more, then we can add them through categories over here, under product categories. And then you would click save again. I'm not going to talk about the plugins. That's just what's used to build your site. Users, if you want to create a new user, you can do that through this button and then add new. And then you would add a username and then an email associated with it, and then you create a password, and then you would set them as administrator and click add new. Or you can change your current password by going to my account and then scroll down to password and then edit and change it to what you want it to be. And again, if you give anyone your password, or if you create a new admin account, you'll just want to be careful who you give it to. You want to make sure it's a really strong password so that it doesn't compromise your site in any way. These items I'm not going to talk about. There's nothing really that is pertinent to things that you'll use or change here. Under Facebook feed, this is how we have your video feed, which is right here, is under Facebook feed. And there's really nothing you need to change here. It's just going to automatically load or populate, but that's what that is. FooBox is part of what we use to make our FooGallery. That were the gallery images we used earlier, and you don't need to do anything here. Under Slider Revolution, there are a few different sliders here that are used at the top of your site and at the top of different pages on your site. And if you click on it, then you can click on a individual slide and look at the elements, and you can change the text here. You can change the font, the size of the text, the color of the text, any of those things. And you can change this. You can change where this button links to through actions, and you can change the link through here. Or you can duplicate the slide if you want to kind of mess around with it without messing up the slide that you currently have. If you duplicate it, then you've got a fresh one to work with, and then if anything gets messed up, you still have the original. You would just need to make it invisible by clicking this red circle. And that's basically how all the sliders work. So they all kind of have a similar function. And so if you click on one, again, you can change the text here by double clicking on any of that. And then you just need to make sure that everything fits within the bounds on each of these screen sizes. So within these dash borders, if you do make any changes, and click save after each screen size worth of changes that you make. Google Maps, I'm trying to remember if you're using this anywhere. Looks like you are on the contact page. So yeah, there's a map here. If you want to change your address, all you'd have to do is come in here to contact page, and you've got your address here. And so what you do is manage locations and click edit, and then you would just change that address here, and then it'll auto-populate this other stuff here, and then click save location, and it should just update it on your page. The other thing I wanted to talk about was under pages. The home page. This is what shows up on your homepage. So we've got that latest videos, the feed that we were talking about, this section that says who are we, and this works like all the other pages, and if you end up wanting to change something about it, you can. And then the styling of it is changed through here. So in the background I have a picture, and then I have a color and the opacity of that color, and I have the text is set as it's white text. So you have all those items. This is formatted as a button, and it's hyperlinked to the appropriate place. So those are kind of some of the functions of these page areas. Again, if you need help, we can help you with that, but I just kind of wanted to walk through that. And again, if you make any changes, click update. And those are kind of your basic functions of your site. And if you run into questions or trouble, obviously, you can ask us for help, but I just kind of wanted to show you some of the basic things in case you get stuck and we're wanting to work on things on your own.